Welcome back to the channel. Introducing a new boxing series. Today we'll be looking at the top 25 punches that will never be forgotten in boxing history. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to like and subscribe for more boxing content. Tommy Hearns, a 6'1" multi-weight class champion, also known as the Hitman for his brutal sniper-like right hand. Hearns would put Panamanian boxing pound-for-pound legend Roberto Duran at the end of his scope. Duran was an all-time great, but Hearns was a stylistic nightmare for Duran. The bout exhibited this in brutal fashion.
Duran just playing on instinct, though, Gil. He's just hanging a big right hand. That's it, Tim. A fighter can go into the ring and he can age overnight, and that's exactly what happened to Roberto.
Julian Jackson, aka the Hawk, boasting an emphatic knockout percentage of 94 knockout wins out of 55 victories. The Hawk was a ruthless knockout machine who would chop down excellent fighters at will. However, against British boxer Herol Graham, all Jackson needed was just one punch.
Jackson, to his credit, sticking to his target as it is.
But falling ever further behind him. Oh no! That's what... And he's still out.
When you can punch like that, Dave, what can you say?
David Tua, one of boxing's most iconic heavyweight fighters. Tua's combination of excellent fundamentals, strength and concrete chin, and all-universe knockout power would allow him to steam through some of boxing's most toughest competition in the late 90s and early 2000s in the heavyweight division. John Ruiz was known as the Quiet Man and was one of heavyweight division's top fighters. In one of boxing's fastest knockouts in 19 seconds, the Quiet Man didn't make a sound after an incredible left hook to the face from Tua.
Estimate his reach. Here's the punch.
15 seconds of the Tua!
Keeping it in the heavyweight division with Ernie Shavers versus Larry Holmes. Shavers was nicknamed the puncher of the century. Holmes was an accomplished heavyweight, and several boxing judges would argue a top 10 heavyweight of all time. Larry Holmes in fact rose to his feet, and even more unbelievable, Holmes would go on to win the fight via a unanimous decision regardless. Manny Pacquiao, the pound-for-pound king, one of boxing's most perfect fighters at the peak of his powers amidst his reign atop the boxing world's pound-for-pound rankings. As he conquered 8 different weight divisions, he would come face-to-face with unbeaten, gritty British knockout champion Ricky Hatton. Hatton at the time was considered in many judges' eyes to be the third best pound-for-pound boxer behind Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather. However, in round 2 of the bout, Pacquiao shockingly hit Hatton with what is possibly boxing's most apex left hook, sending Hatton to the ground. Manny Pacquiao will find himself in the thick of almost every unforgettable punch compilation you'll ever see. However, in the event of Pacquiao versus Juan Manuel Marquez 4, the Filipino dynamo would find himself on the wrong end of the video in this instance. With just 1 second remaining in the 6th round, Marquez launched a boxing rocket detonating on Pacquiao, knocking him out in brutal fashion.
Alex again. Now gets his feet back and tries to roar back to nail Pacquiao with the right hand.
Oh!
He get up.
He's not getting up, Jim. He's not getting up.
No, he's been knocked out.
Overhand right. You see that?
Pacquiao missed the right hand.
He knew he was coming. He just caught his rhythm because that's what has come.
Roy Jones Jr. Enough said. Just watch.
For your talent, we're not because of the style of the opponent or whatever.
Shane Mosley learned that last Saturday night. Once again, third knockdown of the night. You know, that's pretty amazing because... Get the knockout and said, we've got somewhere else to go. I don't know where else they have...
Lennox Lewis versus Hasim Rahman. However, 6 months before this monster KO, Lewis would lose all of his belts, including the lineal heavyweight championship belt, to Hasim Rahman, who knocked Lewis out in their first bout. Lewis, however, would exact revenge over Rahman in their rematch. Lennox Lewis chopped Rahman down with an exceptional 1-2 combination.
They're telling him not to counterpunch. Boom! Boom! Will Rahman get up?
And Rahman did. Rahman made the fatal mistake. I'm going to follow you.
7, 8, 9.
Sergio Martinez versus Paul Williams in round 2 of their bout. Martinez disposed of the much larger Paul Williams in devastating fashion.
Good left hand, and down goes Williams. Williams throws a left, but Martinez beats him with the left.
Shorter punch, yeah, I thought it was
Martinez hit Williams with a godly left hand, flattening Williams. Williams would stay on the floor for several minutes afterwards. Ibeabuchi will forever be known as one of the sport's greatest what-ifs, after previously defeating legendary David Tua. However, there was no questioning what if Ibeabuchi would land a monster left uppercut on fellow strong heavyweight challenger Chris Bird.
Has been hurt with something.
Bird rose to his feet. However, the fight was called in 5 rounds of boxing action.
He might make it out of the round. Here comes Ibeabuchi. The left uppercut. From that point on, Bird was gone. Yeah, Bird was really out of it right there.
Canelo Alvarez is considered one of boxing's greatest legends. He's gone on to dominate multiple weight divisions, amassing maybe the best resume in boxing today, taking apart seasoned challenger time and time again. Amir King Khan was considered one of boxing's fastest punchers, who was a champion welterweight fighter who in 2016 passed his best days in the boxing ring, jumped up weight divisions to challenge Canelo Alvarez in the middleweight division. Amir Khan bravely dueled with Canelo until in round 6, the legendary power of Canelo Alvarez was on show for the world to see, landing one of the most brutal knockout punches in a boxing bout. Before losing in straight sets to Tyson Fury in their trilogy, Deontay Wilder was considered the most devastating heavyweight in the world. Wilder harnessed his all-universe knockout power and precision to repeatedly demolish giant heavyweights time and time again. Dominic Brazil would be Wilder's next victim along his devastating knockout trail.
Set. Do not blink. Our main event is underway. Reason why he has gotten to this point. Open right hand. Down goes Brazil. Lead the right hand. Has eradicated Dominic Brazil.
The Filipino Flash Nonito Donaire, one of boxing's greatest bantamweight fighters of all time. Amidst his rapid ascent amongst the dominant reign in the bantamweight division, Donaire would take on Fernando Montiel, and in round 2 of their championship bout, Donaire patiently waited for Montiel to throw a right, while the Filipino waited to unleash a menacing check left hook. Tommy Morrison is one of the great boxing icons. The Duke has one of the most elite knockout rates in heavyweight history. Morrison was hurtling towards greatness with an astonishing record of 28-0 before his clash with Ray Mercer. Ray Mercer was a fine boxer in his own right, but his knockout punch against Morrison headlined his career. In round 5 of the bout, Ray Mercer unleashed a combination with a left hook that surprisingly knocked Morrison out cold.
May be going. Morrison is gone.
Showing the effects, his mouth is wide open, a tired fighter, and all it was easy pick. Mercer. Here he is just connecting with shots, unanswered punches, out on his feet. Morrison is trying to tie up, but just can't do it. Tony Perez gets the step in.
Convention Center.
The heavyweight division has been blessed with some of the most classic brutal punches in boxing. The ability to land a punch that can change a bout has headlined many heavyweight careers. Lennox Lewis versus Vitali Klitschko bought the world a classic heavyweight bout, and after the head-to-head gritty fight in round 6, Lennox Lewis landed a game-changing right uppercut.
Und starker Scheckter Auswärtshaken von Lennox Lewis. Numeretz hat auf den Ringer gehört, der bei Klitschko muss vorgehen.
Mike Tyson will find his way on any classic punches list. In fact, you can have a Tyson top 25 punches of all time. However, in Tyson's bout against South African Frans Botha, in the twilight of his career, Mike Tyson's violent punching power was still on display with one of the sport's most audibly brutal knockout punches. Roy Jones Jr., possibly the most perfect fighter in boxing, would be boxing's most dominant force in the late 90s and early 2000s, amassing one of boxing's most deadly resumes. James Toney was another dominant godly talent, one of the sport's most technically blessed defensive prospects with knockout power to boot. Roy Jones Jr. would land what is infamously known as the Phantom Punch on Toney, and one of the most brilliant and exceptional punches in boxing history.
Jones came off the ropes when he got hit there with some beautiful shots back at Toney.
A boxing punch can be perfect, brutal, technical, or in the case of Derek Jefferson against Morris Harris, pure explosive. So much so, in fact, that at the end of their grueling duel, Jefferson hit Harris with a left hook so brutal that it completely dislodged the gum shield from Harris' mouth before sending him to the canvas. George Foreman is likely the boxing world's most iconic and infamous heavyweight power puncher. This was the case for his entire career, even past his best years. Foreman still packed the power to punch 10 men. Jerry Cooney was the next on the long line of Foreman victims.
Oh, and look at the left, come up and slice. He's ready to go. Jerry, and there he goes.
Round 5 against Spinks, a clubbing right hand by Foreman. He's got a minute and 8 seconds left.
Oh, and that's it. And I don't think Cooney's fights in the second round.
And he came over.
Riddick Big Daddy Bowe was one of the boxing heavyweight's biggest hitters in the 1990s. Evander Holyfield, an exceptionally skilled puncher with toughness and power to boot, was unfortunately hit with a Riddick Bowe take on a Mike Tyson classic during their gruesome bout.
I don't understand someone being so dirty.
So you see Holyfield going down in this round, and Bowe stuns him with an uppercut just like that. The champion struggles to stay on his feet. What a heart by Holyfield.
Holyfield impressively survived the onslaught but would go on to lose in a close unanimous decision to Bowe. One of boxing's greatest privileges is once you are hit with an equilibrium-shattering blow, you should do everything you can to make the most of the referee's 8 count. Australian boxing legend Costa Zhu landed one of these shots on Zab Judah. In return, displayed a masterclass as to why you should always take this privilege. Instead, at the death of round 2 in their bout, Judah, once hit with a massive punch from Zhu, decided to hit the stanky leg in the boxing ring.
Seconds left here in the second round. The right hand from Zhu was good. And that floors Judah! He's up very quickly, but his eyes are in orbit! It's over! Judah immediately up and complains, but the fight welterweight division for the first time in
Anthony Joshua versus Vladimir Klitschko. Joshua would land one of the most explosive uppercuts you'll see.
Body shot, uppercut, tremendous shot. Vladimir in trouble. Joshua's trying to finish him. Right down. Down goes Klitschko. Second knockdown in the round.
Floyd Mayweather was a cut above in terms of skill set and would take seasoned champions apart with perfect punching precision.
Moving his head as much as he should, and Floyd is pinpoint.
Oh, this is the most damaging blows thrown so far.
Floyd was a boxer that had all the time on his side, and when Ricky Hatton approached Floyd in the corner, the pound-for-pound champ would hit Hatton with a classic check left hook.
You can stride for stride throughout the career.
Check that hook.
What a perfect shot. The left hook by Mayweather, and
A situation he's never, or a fighter he's never been confronted with before.
One of the fastest punchers of all time, Sugar Ray Leonard lands a classic lightning speed combination.
Chin of the challenger. Combinations. Oh, and so long. Timber. Look at the replay. Look at this. Set him up with...
Muhammad Ali, the greatest of all time, in the fight of the century against George Foreman. The punch that sent Foreman a loss and sent Ali into the stratosphere among the greatest sportsmen of all time.
He worked over the shoulder of Foreman.
Thanks for watching part 1 of the top 25 greatest boxing punches ever. Stick around for part 2, and if you enjoyed the content, feel free to drop a like and subscribe for more boxing content.